Hi, my favorite people of the internet. How is everyone? Thank you for tuning in and showing so much love on my channel. I really like doing these sit down, let's talk videos. So I'm back again with you all. So please share a comment how you feeling about this channel and what kind of conversations you want to be having. Now, in this video, I basically want to talk about this movie I was recently watching. So, first of all, full disclosure, I do not really watch a lot of movies. My attention span is of a housefly. Like, really, I do not follow these, must watch lists. I do not do that. But recently, I was feeling like, I need to sort of connect with some different ideas or something like that. So I watched this movie on Netflix called Frankenstein. So now you guys have must have heard about Frankenstein, this very popular character, but it is basically it is a novel by Mary Shelley. Mary Shelley, you must have heard of PB Shelley if you have studied in CBSE. PB Shelley is a very famous poet, and Mary Shelley is related to him. And Mary Shelley, she wrote it when she was just 18. She was just 18 at that time. I just fixed the light. Isn't it so much better? Good lighting is very important for a video, so I just switched off a couple of lights. So now I don't have like this crazy reflection I was getting earlier. But now I was talking about Mary Shelley. Mary Shelley is wife of this famous big ass poet called PB Shelley. And Mary Shelley, she's a talented girl herself. She wrote this novel when she was just 18 in sort of like a ghost writing competition in which Lord Byron was also participating. I mean, what kind of a circle Mary was keeping? That is amazing. That is exactly the kind of circle us talented girls need to nurture our skills. You cannot expect brilliance out of, commonplace and drama, because if you have that spark inside you, the ordinary common folks would just get jealous and try to pull you down. So, ladies, if you are a creative kind, find your circle, find your PB Shelley, find your Lord Byron, and let that creativity come out of you. So now let's get on with it. So the trailer was very clear that this movie is going to be from the perspective of the creature, the monster that was created. So I haven't read the novel, and I am just as much aware about this story as it is referenced in a couple of other cartoons and movies and things like that. It's just that this creature had green skin and bolts around the neck and stuff like that, and looked kind of like a doofus. But then he was created by this mad scientist, sort of a doctor who was obsessed with this idea of spark of life, how sort of these organs and sort of this mechanical sort of a body gets that spark of life. Because can you assemble life in a lab and then sort of give it life, or what is this divine intervention that leads to life? So sort of that he was obsessed with that idea, and he was obsessed with death and trying to defy death. So definitely my opinion on this movie is going to be largely unbiased, because I have not read the novel and I have not had like any sort of a preempt notion about this movie, because this is from the perspective of the creature and not from the perspective of what Mary Shelley wrote in her famous novel, right, by the same name, Frankenstein, right? At first in the movie, we get to know a little bit about the early life, the childhood of Victor Frankenstein, and how much of his life is shaped by his father. His father is a brilliant surgeon, like he's the best in the country. He is very, very, particular, very disciplinarian, very sort of no nonsense kind of a person when it comes to brilliance in the craft. And he says that there's a big onus on you, Victor, because you're carrying my name. And he expects his elder son Victor to carry the mental and his brilliance forward. Victor is brilliant. He is a good student to his father, but he is crumbling under pressure. His mother is his happiness, his source of happiness, but he loses his mother as his second brother is getting born, and he loses his brother to childbirth. And now the thing is that we see a clear divergence in the behavior of a father between the two sons. The father starts doting on the second son, and this sort of a contrast shapes their nature. We also see Victor casting doubt on his father's intention, saying that how can the most brilliant surgeon not save his mother, because both the parents had a tumultuous, a very sort of chaotic relationship, and they would often fight behind closed doors, and Victor would be hearing all of it. So he had a very sort of like toxic sort of upbringing. And when the second child was born, the mother was gone, so there was no like fights that the second one would observe. So he came out in a very different way and not as messed up as Victor was. So and then how Victor instead of healing, sorts of channelizes his anger into sort of a god complex that he develops. Victor grew up this with this crazy idea of infusing life into a lifeless body, and defying death itself. Like, he would assemble a human body from different body parts of corpuses that would come in from the war, and uh, out of that Frankenstein would be created. Now the monster says in the movie that my master told his story, now I must tell mine. In that he narrates a deep rage that this sort of a creature feels towards his own creator, Victor. Once he gets consciousness, he is awakened with a lot of confusion. He doesn't have any identity. He is the only word he would utter is Victor, Victor, Victor. Like a child, when the child is born into the world, the child doesn't know any better, and the child is just, the first point of contact is mother, and then child is just repeating mum, mum, mum. So similarly, this creature is also just repeating Victor, Victor, Victor when he gains the consciousness. But Victor gets afraid of his own creation, and he tries to destroy what he created. And in those moments, this sort of a creature becomes a little dangerous, and sort of gets deeply hurt, realizing that he is alone in this world. Sort of he feels the existential crisis very early on, and sort of something that we all must face at some point in our life. The creature also realizes that he cannot trust his master, and he is really on his own. So there's another character called Elizabeth in this movie. Elizabeth is a love interest of the younger brother. She is sort of like a godly woman, and she also the and Victor also gets sort of mesmerized with Elizabeth, because she has a very unique point of view, and a very contrastic point of view as Victor, and he really likes her company. But she does not see but she despises Victor because of his crazy ideas, and him not caring about anybody else's feelings except his own pursuit of whatever he was uh, trying to pursue. So now what happens is that Elizabeth sees the creature, and she sees in the creature something that she had been longing for a long time: pure emotions. And she gets very attached to the creature. Like, she sees his heart, she sees the need for connection that this creature is having, and the same needs is what Elizabeth is feeling, like the feeling of union. So they both feel intensely in love. But due to some sort of a mad accident, Elizabeth gets shot by Victor. Victor also ends up killing Elizabeth's uncle, who was funding his this entire idea. And Victor blames both the deaths, Elizabeth's deaths and uncle's death, onto the creature, making the creature like a monster in everybody's eyes. When his younger brother is dying, though younger brother knows this truth from his elder brother that it is a creature who has killed, but the younger brother could sense that it is Victor who is the real monster, and it is his own madness that has destroyed everybody else's life. So Victor is confronted uh, by his younger brother moments before he is passed away. Now the creature, he had spent a large amount of time, in observing a family in the jungles when he is running away from his life. Like, he just goes to a jungle, he is observing a family from afar which is living in a very cold sort of a jungle, and he sees their ways, he's learning from them, and he sees he finds himself in a sense of belongingness with them, and he feels like he wants to be helping towards them, and he wants to show his presence to them in one way or the other. And he develops this need of having a companion in his life. It is said that no man is an island, and if a man can live alone, he is either a beast or God. And this creature was neither. He was neither a monster nor he was godly. The creature was lucky that he finds a wise old man living in that house who's blind, and he's wise, and all of his other senses are heightened. He could feel the presence of the creature, but he never tells on him. He just quietly, like, sort of draws him out, and he accepts the creature, gives him understanding without any judgment, and that gives the creature the strength to confront his master, Victor, and eventually forgive him. The wise old man teaches the creature how to read, and he sets him on this journey, on this path of self discovery. When the creature realizes that his need of having a companion would not be met because Victor will not be creating another one like that, he sorts of has a change of heart, and he forgives him. And in that forgiveness, he finds his freedom and his solace. So, this is sort of a story of the creature. So let me know in the comments whether it's something that interests you and you would like to watch this movie. Very brilliant, brilliant acting by, I think, Jacob. I'm not able to pronounce his last name, Elordi, Jacob Elordi. So he is so brilliant, in this movie, and all the sort of scenes are so nicely designed, and you would be glued to this movie from start to finish. So definitely let me know what you guys think about this review. And I know I'm just giving away the entire story, but definitely, like, if you're like me, we are not having the patience to sit through a movie, but I definitely want to develop your interest into exploring different ideas through movies, through books, through